The oil fields of West Texas are about to roar back to life, and this time, the stakes are higher than ever. Landman Season 2 isn't just returning, it's gearing up to deliver more power plays, more personal struggles, and more drama that cut straight to the bone. Fans have been waiting to find out what happens after the explosive events of Season 1. And with new cast members stepping into the spotlight, the game is about to change. This isn't just another season, it's a turning point in the story of ambition, betrayal, and survival in America's oil capital. Season 1 of Landman pulled audiences into a world where fortunes can be made or destroyed in a single phone call, and where every handshake carries the weight of a hidden deal, set against the backdrop of the modern-day oil boom in West Texas. The show didn't shy away from showing the hard truths, whether it was the relentless push for profit, the environmental toll, or the lives hanging in the balance when millions of dollars are at stake. The series introduced us to the roughnecks risking their lives on the rigs, the executives making cutthroat decisions in glass offices, and the dreamers who believed oil could change everything for them. Storyline was layered with grit, emotion, and a sense of looming danger. One of the reasons Season 1 resonated so deeply was its mix of high drama and grounded realism. We watched families get torn apart by greed, friendships tested by ambition, characters forced to choose between doing what's right and doing what's necessary to survive. The writing didn't paint the oil industry as purely glamorous, showed the dirt under the nails, the sweat and the heat, and the cold calculations made behind closed doors. This balance of human vulnerability and corporate ruthlessness is what made Landman stand out from other dramas. By the time the final episode of Season 1 aired, audiences were left with burning questions. Several storylines ended on tense cliffhangers. A betrayal that could bring down an entire company, a risky deal that might ruin multiple lives, and personal rivalries that have been building toward an inevitable showdown. Viewers saw alliances form and crumble, and the closing moments suggested that bigger forces are pulling the strings. The season didn't just set the stage for Season 2, it lit the fuse. Now, with Season 2 on the horizon, fans are eager to see how these threads will unravel. Will the characters we grew attached to find redemption, or dig themselves deeper into the mess? Will the oil boom continue to be a golden opportunity, or will it turn into a trap for those who chased it too hard? And perhaps most intriguingly, what will the arrival of new cast members mean for the balance of power in West Texas? The groundwork has been laid, and the second season promises to build on everything that made the first one so gripping only, with even higher stakes and more unpredictable twists. Asterisk. The official word fans had been waiting for finally dropped. Landman Season 2 is officially on its way, and the countdown has already begun. Paramount Plus confirmed the renewal earlier this year, putting to rest months of speculation about whether the series would return after its explosive first season. The announcement came with a wave of excitement, not just from viewers, but from the cast and crew, many of whom hinted that Season 2 would be bigger, bolder, and more dangerous than anything we've seen before. But what really sent fans into a frenzy was the reveal of the release date window. While the network kept exact details close to the chest, insiders confirmed that the new season is slated to arrive in fall 2025, lining up perfectly for an awards season push and maximum viewing numbers during one of television's most competitive periods. What's even more exciting is that production for Season 2 began earlier than many expected. Filming kicked off quietly in the heart of Texas, with multiple set photos leaking online showing both familiar faces and mysterious new actors on location. Crew members were spotted working in oil fields under blistering heat, while others filmed scenes in lavish executive offices, hinting that the show will once again balance the gritty reality of oil, drilling with the polished but equally cutthroat world of corporate power. Reports suggest that shooting is taking place in both rural West Texas towns and urban centers, potentially expanding the story's scope to include political and legal battles on a much bigger stage. Sources close to the production have also hinted at a more cinematic approach for Season 2. The series is reportedly using upgraded camera technology and more expansive location shoots, aiming to give the show an even grander visual scale. That means we might see wider panoramic shots of drilling rigs under the blazing Texas sun, more intense night sequences lit by the glow of oil flares, and closer, more intimate moments that capture every flicker of emotion on the actors' faces. The creative team seems determined to push beyond the limits of what they achieved in Season 1, not just in terms of visuals, but in pacing, tone, storytelling depth. Behind the scenes, the writing team has been working tirelessly to shape the upcoming season's arc. According to early reports, the new episodes will explore the aftermath of Season 1's major turning points while introducing entirely new conflicts that could change the direction of the series. The writers are said to be leaning into moral gray areas, blurring the line between hero and villain even more than before. In Season 2, the stakes won't just be about striking oil or landing the next big deal, they'll be about survival, reputation, and the dangerous consequences of ambition. With each decision the characters make, the ripple effects will reach further, impacting both allies and enemies in unexpected ways. The early buzz from test audiences and insiders is overwhelmingly positive. Those who've caught a glimpse of rough footage claim the show's tension has been cranked up to maximum, with more edge-of-your-seat moments in the first 3 episodes than the entire run of Season 1. Fans can also expect faster plot progression, without sacrificing the slow-burn storytelling that made the show so addictive in the first place. The creative team appears to have found a balance between delivering high-impact drama and giving characters the space to breathe, grow, and make choices that feel both personal and explosive. And perhaps the biggest takeaway from the release date announcement is that the team clearly knows their audience. By aiming for a fall 2025 premiere, Landman will not only dominate conversations heading into the colder months, but also position itself perfectly for binge watchers and critics alike. It's a combination of returning characters, new cast members, and heightened stakes makes this upcoming season one of the most talked about TV events of the year. All that's left now is for fans to mark their calendars and get ready, because once Season 2 hits, there will be no turning back. Season 2 of Landman isn't just bringing back the familiar faces we've grown to love, it's also introducing a lineup of powerful new characters that could completely change the game. Paramount Plus has confirmed several major casting additions, and each one comes with enough star power and intrigue to send shockwaves through the oil fields of West Texas. These aren't just filler roles. They're potential catalysts for the biggest rivalries, alliances, and betrayals the series has ever seen. The writers seem to be doubling down on character-driven tension, and these fresh arrivals will bring brand new energy, secrets, and stakes to the table. First up is Josh Lucas. Joining the cast is a charismatic but ruthless oil tycoon from Oklahoma, known for his magnetic screen presence and ability to play both charming and dangerous. His character, rumored to be named Cole Stratton, will reportedly arrive in West Texas with deep pockets and an even deeper agenda. Stratton is said to be the type of man who smiles while he's pulling the rug out from under you, a master at turning opportunities into weapons. Early set photos show him shaking hands with returning executives, but fans are already speculating whether these meetings are alliances or traps. If the rumors are true, Stratton's arrival will challenge the very foundations of the oil empire built in Season 1. Another exciting addition is Annika Noni Rose, stepping into the role of a sharp, politically connected lawyer who specializes in high-stakes environmental cases. Her character, Alexandra Pierce, is described as both brilliant and fearless, someone who can dismantle a corporation's defenses with a single court filing. She's reportedly going to be involved in a storyline that forces the oil companies to answer for years of questionable practices, and her presence could push certain characters into unexpected partnerships or bitter conflicts. Given the environmental subplots teased in Season 1, Alexandra's arrival feels like the spark that could ignite a much larger firestorm. The younger audience will be thrilled to hear about Brandon Flynn joining the series as Tyler, a rebellious young roughneck with a troubled past. Tyler's character arc is said to be a blend of raw grit and heartbreaking vulnerability, showing the personal side of the oil boom from the perspective of someone who's seen both the opportunities and the dangers up close. He's rumored to cross paths with some of the series' most powerful players, creating a bridge between the oil fields and the executive boardrooms. Whether he becomes a pawn, a threat, or a hero, will likely be one of the season's most unpredictable storylines. Then there's Carla Gugino, who has been cast as a wealthy landowner with deep family ties to the region. Eleanor Maddox isn't just sitting on valuable oil-rich property, she's sitting on secrets that could append multiple deals in progress. It's described as elegant, calculating, and fiercely protective of her legacy. Eleanor will likely play both sides of the fence, leveraging her connections to get exactly what she wants. Her presence could create ripple effects across every storyline, especially if she decides to pit rivals against each other for her own gain. The addition of these new players raises an obvious question: how will they fit into the existing web of alliances and rivalries from Season 1? From what we know, the writers aren't wasting any time. These characters will be integrated into the plot almost immediately, and their arrival will force returning characters to reassess their strategies. For some, these newcomers will represent opportunities to strengthen their positions. For others, they'll be threats that could destroy everything they've built. For the audience, they'll be the unpredictable variables that keep the drama fresh, tension high and the stakes soaring. What's most exciting is how these casting choices open the door for deeper, more layered conflicts. Imagine the ruthless Cole Stratton making a deal with Eleanor Maddox while secretly undermining her, or Alexandra Pierce teaming up with unlikely allies to take down a corporate giant. Even Tyler, the young wild card, could end up holding crucial information that shifts the balance of power. It's this kind of multi-layered storytelling that made Landman a standout drama, and with such a strong roster of new talent, Season 2 seems poised to raise the bar even higher. If you're already hooked on these casting announcements, just wait until you see how they collide with the returning cast in the next section, because that's where the sparks really start to fly. Asterisk. The backbone of Landman has always been its original cast, the characters we've followed through backroom deals, high-risk gambles, and personal sacrifices. Season 2 is set to bring many of them back, but their return won't be business as usual. The fallout from the Season 1 finale has left fractures in alliances, shaken loyalties, and forced everyone to reassess their positions in the brutal world of Texas oil. These returning characters aren't just picking up where they left off, they're stepping into a new game, where the rules have changed, and the cost of survival is higher than ever. Billy Bob Thornton returns as Tommy Norris, the rugged no-nonsense oilman whose grit and determination made him the face of Landman's first season. But Tommy's victory at the end of Season 1 came with strings attached. And in Season 2, those strings might just pull him into deeper trouble. He's now in possession of deals that could make him richer than he's ever dreamed or ruin him. If they collapse, Thornton's performance brought a raw authenticity to Tommy. And early hints suggest that this season will dig deeper into his personal struggles, especially as new competitors arrive to challenge his authority. Allie Larder reprises her role as Angela Norris, Tommy's ex-wife, whose sharp mind and fierce independence made her a force to be reckoned with. Season 1 ended with Angela walking away from Tommy's orbit, determined to build something of her own. But Season 2 might see her pulled back into the fray there as an ally or an adversary, with the arrival of characters like Eleanor Maddox and Alexandra Pierce. Angela could find herself caught between defending her family's interests and seizing new opportunities for power. Her dynamic with Tommy remains one of the show's most compelling threads, and fans are eager to see whether it leans toward reconciliation or open warfare. Michelle Randolph also returns as Ainsley Norris, Tommy's ambitious and often underestimated daughter. Last season, Ainsley began stepping out of her father's shadow, learning the ropes of the oil business and making moves of her own. But Season 2 promises to test her loyalty and her limits.
Nice.
Surrounded by seasoned players who see her as either a valuable asset or an easy target, Ainsley will need to decide how far she's willing to go to prove herself. Randolph's portrayal of Ainsley's mix of vulnerability and determination has resonated with younger viewers, making her arc one of the most anticipated this year. Jacob Laughlin returns as Cooper, the skilled roughneck who became a fan favorite. For his grounded perspective and moral compass, in Season 1, Cooper often found himself in the middle of conflicts between workers on the rigs and the executives, making decisions far above their heads. Season 2 will push him into even murkier territory as loyalty to his crew clashes with the lure of bigger paychecks and riskier jobs, with the oil fields becoming an even more dangerous place, both physically and politically. Cooper's choices could have ripple effects across the entire storyline. Mark Colley will once again step into the boots of Donnie Blaze, the brash, unpredictable figure whose alliances are as volatile as the oil market itself. Donnie's knack for being in the right place at the wrong time made him a wild card in Season 1. And that's not changing in Season 2. If anything, his tendency to stir up trouble might put him directly in the crosshairs of both the old guard and the new players arriving in West Texas. Whether Donnie survives the season could depend entirely on how well he navigates the shifting power dynamics, the chemistry among the returning cast. It's one of Landman's strongest assets in its first run, and Season 2 seems ready to capitalize on that while throwing in enough new tensions to keep every relationship on edge. Friendships will be tested, family bonds strained, and old grudges reignited. Tommy and Angela's history will continue to cast a long shadow. Ainsley's ambitions may put her in direct conflict with her father, and Cooper's moral convictions could either save him or destroy him in a world where compromise often means survival. What's clear is that the returning cast won't be playing it safe. Every one of them is walking into a West Texas that's more dangerous, more divided, and more unpredictable than the one they left behind. And with the new cast members already positioned to disrupt the balance, the stage is set for confrontations that could redefine every relationship we thought we understood. This is Landman at its most volatile, familiar faces caught in unfamiliar battles, where every decision has the potential to be their last good one. Asterisk Season 2 of Landman, shaping up to be more than just a continuation. It's looking like a full-scale escalation. Story isn't staying in safe territory. Instead, it's diving deeper into the ruthless and morally gray world of West Texas oil, where fortunes are made on risky bets and lost in the blink of an eye. The cliffhangers from Season 1 have left fans buzzing with theories. Now, with new cast members in play and returning characters facing bigger threats than ever, the upcoming season promises an intense mix of personal vendettas, corporate warfare, and life or death stakes. One of the biggest lingering questions from last season is whether Tommy Norris can hold on to the empire he fought so hard to build. In Season 1's final moments, his apparent victory came at a steep cost, leaving him surrounded by uneasy allies and hidden enemies. Season 2 could see Tommy forced into higher-risk deals to keep control. It's deals that may put him in direct conflict with Cole Stratton, smooth-talking oil tycoon played by Josh Lucas. If Stratton's charm masks a cutthroat plan to seize control of Tommy's operations, the two could be headed for a tense power struggle, one fought not just in boardrooms, but out in the oil fields where a single misstep can ruin reputations and destroy lives. Angela Norris's path this season could be equally compelling. After stepping away from Tommy's world, she now has the freedom to align herself with whoever can help her secure her own piece of the pie. The arrival of Eleanor Maddox, Carla Gugino, might present Angela with a tempting alliance too strong. Intelligent women using strategy, charm, and leverage to outmaneuver the men who think they control the game. But alliances in Landman never come without strings. And if Angela's ambitions clash with Tommy's, it could turn their already complicated relationship into an all-out war. Meanwhile, Alexandra, Pierce Annika, Noni Rose, the politically connected environmental lawyer, could be the wild card who turns the oil boom into a battleground. Her arrival suggests that Season 2 will dig deeper into the legal and environmental consequences of West Texas drilling. If she uncovers damaging evidence against the major players, it could trigger lawsuits, public backlash, and a wave of media attention that threatens to derail everything. The tension here is Rich Pierce may be morally driven, but she's also savvy enough to use the chaos to her advantage. It's making her a dangerous opponent for anyone standing in her way. On the ground, the stakes are just as high. Ainsley Norris's growing independence could push her into dangerous waters as she tries to prove she's more than just her father's daughter. She might form unexpected partnerships, possibly with Tyler Brandon Flynn, the young roughneck, whose first-hand knowledge of the oil fields could give her leverage in both family and corporate battles. But trust is a rare commodity in this world, and one bad decision could send Ainsley spiraling into the same traps that have ensnared veterans of the game. Cooper's storyline is likely to hit an emotional nerve this season. His loyalty to his crew and his principles has always been his strength. But in an environment where survival often means bending the rules, Cooper may find himself forced to compromise in ways that haunt him. With corporate safety shortcuts, environmental hazards, and political agendas all in play, the rigs could become as much a powder keg as the boardrooms. Thematically, Season 2 seems poised to expand beyond the personal into the global. Hints from early interviews suggest that international investors, foreign markets, and geopolitical tensions might start influencing the Texas oil boom, adding yet another layer of complexity to the already tangled web. This could push characters into unfamiliar territory, forcing them to adapt or be crushed by forces far larger than themselves. And then there's the promise of betrayal. If Landman has taught us anything, it's that loyalty is fragile when millions or billions are on the line. Deals will be made in secret, trust will be weaponized, and more than one character will likely find themselves blindsided by someone they thought was an ally. With the introduction of ambitious newcomers and the evolution of returning players, every episode could deliver a twist that changes the season's trajectory. Season 2 isn't just about who wins and who loses. It's about the price each character is willing to pay to stay in the game. And as the oil rigs keep pumping and the deals keep flowing, the lines between victory and ruin will blur until the two are nearly indistinguishable.